The doctor is in. So we've had some very interesting things happening over the last 24 hours, and I know this is a little late that where I am coming from here. I just needed an energy boost, but I'm here. There's an old saying, stranger things have happened at sea. And then there's another old saying that you can add to it, when the cow swims to the shore. All of that means is that these things are so unusual. And have I seen these things before? Yes. I'm going to say, without a pun or a parody, the first 48 hours, that is very true. The first 48 hours in a criminal investigation like this, and it is, are so critical that as time goes on, things become lost. And there's so many stirring the pot. What we saw last night, if you didn't see, it went on till about, 4 a.m. this morning Eastern time. All of this SWAT teams and chasing people and detainments, not arrests, detaining of a woman and her son, and then there was another man, and then there was a man, for whatever reason, at a traffic stop, gave himself a ticket to paradise. And all of this was caught on camera, and it's devastating. The question remains, where is Nancy? Where is she? We're going to ask again today. And we're going to keep asking these hard questions. Do I blame law enforcement? I'm not one to say. I'm not law enforcement. I'm not a doctor. I'm a tarot profiler. I'm a forensic tarot seer. And we ask questions. We get a confirmation. We lay a confirmation. We lay a pattern. And then we start seeing what's happening. So today, here we go. This is the map that we started out. I started reading on February 3rd. Not right from the beginning, but from the beginning. About 72 hours in. This is the area in which Nancy was residing, and everything pointed to this area. So now we're going to mark down, we've got another day. Let's hope that I don't need to add another slice of paper, right? And that's what my grandfather used to call it. So today is Saturday, okay? Saturday, the 14th of February, and happy Valentine's Day to all of you. 2026, and at the making of this video, it is 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So last night, we saw 3 detained. 1 has a ticket to paradise. SWAT, FBI, and sheriff deputies. We're still waiting on DNA from gloves, I guess, from Florida. I haven't heard anything different. Let's see what this adds up to. So we have 5 here, 2, that's 7, and then we do 1 from here, that's 10. So we don't do double digits, so that's 5, that's 7. So we have an 8 for today. An infinite number and a financial number. And you know, the more we go on, the more I say, you know, this belongs in my big book of bull. Does it feel like that to you? It certainly does to me. All right. So now I have several cards out. What I'm going to do, I have the definite key from my sweetheart. And by the way, I got a beautiful Valentine's Day present, and there's another surprise attached to it. And I've got that on his channel. So I might collaborate with him on this one. You probably have all seen him. All right, so here we are. I'm asking for a foundation, and there we got it. I don't have to go any further. And I usually do that with one deck of cards. I'm going to put that over here. So this is the foundation. This is a money grab, I'm going to tell you. Not only a money grab, but it is to be a lesson. A lesson in giving and receiving. You see this? Here we go. Here we go. For those of you. This cloak is red. This, traditionally, is a green color. This is faded on my cards, and this is blue. This is the Six of Pentacles, very grounded, makes you stop and think. And yesterday, the Six was predominant, and it was all about containment. Containment, control, and now here we come again. The red signifies compassion, passion, love, control, and now power. This person here with this green is asking for money. This person with the blue is emotional, so most likely asking for some type of help. And there is a scales there that must be weighed and balanced. This can be the scales of justice. And it is a card of give and receive. We will be hearing, if we haven't already, from someone now who says, and as of yesterday, I do believe those people that contacted TMZ that said, oh, well, sorry about your luck. We're raising the ante now. We want $100,000. And the condition of Mrs. Guthrie is at stake. Do I believe that this is a money grab? Yeah. I believe that this is an amateur who's watched too many Netflix series. And the fact that they go to TMZ, well, this is someone who wants that attention, and they've got a hero complex. In my opinion, I'm not diagnosing, but I've seen this before in my readings. And yes, I do missing persons. What a lot of you don't realize is that not only have I done missing persons, I've done financial crimes. I've done forgeries. I've done kidnappings, abductions, and just general missing persons. And I retired from it. And this particular case, I think, is pulling me back in. And do I have a book? Yeah, it's been in the works. I'll let you know when it comes out. All right. So that is our basis right now for today. We're going to start out with this House of Zelda deck. And by the way, if you like these cards, now make sure you know which one you're getting. But if you like the cards, well, these are on sale. Now, it's a digital download. So you get the images. You can put them on whatever cardstock you like. I have people who put them on index cards because they don't have cards themselves. Get it? Be creative. There's no rules. It's a digital download. You just can't resell them, okay? A digital download, and you can put them on playing cards. You can put them on this size stock. You can do whatever. You can put them on top of a tarot. It's up to you. They are on sale. Valentine's Day. Regularly, they were $65, marked down to half off. And now for Valentine's Day, they are $14 for the digital download. And you can be reading cards tonight. I'm leaving the link in the description of this video. It's trueoracle.com, and then you go to the psychic shop. Here we are, House of Zelda cards. And while you're busy, please put your touch DNA on the like button and click the bell and make sure it says all so you don't miss a thing. Here we are. So the contact is coming, not to you, not to me, but just in general, contact is coming. And I bet we are going to be hearing from these financial guys again. Almost laughing at law enforcement now, pretty much. There's the poetic junk. And this is saying, look harder. Now, yeah, that looks like a little mask, but it's actually a candle. Doesn't it, though, when you look like this? Every time I turn that over, I have to look, and I'm the one that designed them. There's a little candle there and a little document that has been written out. And pretty much this is saying, you better look harder. You better stop it now. You need to look harder. We're going to put those to the side. Let's go through these, my friends. You see, this lays out a foundation now we're going to be hearing about from someone else. And it would not surprise me if there's going to be another one on top of it. Someone is toying with the feds. Someone is toying with the family. It's all about timing. Just know justice is coming. And isn't it not a coincidence that we have a scale and a scale? So now there has to be some balance here. I don't know who is or is not dealing with this person, but they better pay attention. And here's why. I don't know if law enforcement or the sheriff's office is bragging or not when they say, well, we have 14,000 tips here and we have 8,000 tips here and 5,000 tips here, but they've got one who is pleading for attention. Who's dealing with that one? And the contact information is right there. And if TMZ can check a Bitcoin wallet, that gives me pause. It just really gives me pause. Stolen. Now, would these be stolen funds once they go into, if they were paid the 100,000, would it be stolen? Yes. They would be stealing it from. I do not believe that they have the information that they do. This is a plea for those, and if you are listening, and if you have something to do with this, the plea now is to do the right thing. Do the right thing about Mrs. Guthrie. And now here is Answer the Call. There is a tip that is coming through. And is it the same one for the Bitcoin? I'm not sure, but I'm going to also say, look at this. Poetic justice. I keep hearing this, and I've heard it overnight, and yes, it's been a moment overnight. We're going to lay out a couple of these cards, and I'm going to tell you what I feel. Look at this. This card pops out constantly. And the reason it came, and it hasn't come out the last couple of days we've used these cards, I don't believe. But this card comes out now because it's basically saying that it's not law enforcement that is watching, it is others that are watching law enforcement. Do I feel that there's some fear? Yes. Yes, I do. But this card gives me the chills because it's almost as though they are sitting and waiting for law enforcement's next move. And last night, I don't want to know, I don't want to say that they looked befuddled and they're putting all this, I mean, they're sending, what were there? At least 30 Fed cars there last night? What? It was an Airbnb. Do you think this is Ma Barker? Who do you think this is? But these people have settled in, and they are way ahead of you, law enforcement now. They have gained because there's too much time that has passed. And I'm going to tell you, too many cooks in the kitchen. There comes a time, yes, and this is serious for sure. But there are too many cooks in the kitchen. That is all about judgment. On the bottom of the deck, the universe knows the truth. Absolutely, it does. This is not a confessional, but it is a court. It's a judge's bench. Give me one more minute. I'm going to lay out this tarot, and then we're going to really start getting into this. Yeah, this card gives me pulls. Pause. We're going to put this out here. I mean, at this point, you get to the point where you've transcended all this emotion, and now you're just getting mad, right? Now you're just getting mad. And I understand that people are doing a lot, but I just think that there has been a lot of mess up. Oh, look where we have the Star card. And now an Ace of Cups and giving us a timing. This Star card is Nancy. Now, I'm not going to get into the hidden. If you want to see about the Star card, and I have put out a video that tells all about the hidden Star cards from the 1500s. I read about that time. Yeah, I said that yesterday, and that's a joke. So that's Nancy. You see this page that's standing there with an offering of money toward Nancy? That is an offer. That is an offer that is coming toward her. But you see, we've got this triangle here, this balance of this high priestess sitting there holding the Torah. For those of you, the Torah are the first 5 books of the Bible written by Moses, in the Greek called the Septuagint. The high priestess has these pillars, Boaz and Joachim, and they are about the pillars that hold up the temples of Israel. Who was associated with that? I'm sorry. I still feel that there is an international affiliation with this. This card, someone, you see the smirk there, someone more in control. This is a card of winning, and you see the blustery because it's air element, so there's a lot of movement in this card. But it's all about thoughts. It's all about communication. Oh, definitely, we're going to get more communication from these guys, if we haven't already. It's getting about time. And there's water reference here, even though it's an air element. And that's the one thing that I want all of you to know. The tarot is not rigid. You can't look at a card and say, oh, that's that. It can't be this, and it can't reference this. Oh, yes, it can. Oh, yes, it can. Because it was made that way. And starting even in the 1300s, throughout, when it came from the regular playing cards, there were so many hidden references, just like here in the Star card, which this Star card hidden reference is a transformation. Is Nancy transformed? That's my question. Is Nancy no longer here? It's given us every reason to believe not in these cards. I hope that's wrong. Usually it's not. Energy doesn't lie, neither do numbers. But here's what makes me feel, you see, there's the 3. There's 3 people involved. I know there is. And look, we have, amazingly enough, a woman and 2 men. A little bit about this 3. I'm going to give you a little history about this 3 card. This 3 of Pentacles is very grounding. And this young man standing here, He is not only elevated in height because he's got an apron on, means he's working, he's building, he's putting together. He is a mason, which means a masonry. Don't everybody get excited. He's into masonry, and he's got another tool there, but this tool that he's holding on is called a builder's maul. And that's what he taps in all the brick, the block, in order to make sure that it's level and it doesn't fall and it doesn't crumble. He's building a foundation. But this 3 is very interesting because it is a collaboration and can even mean a corporate collaboration. You see, these 2 have come together, bringing plans to this gentleman to see, can this be built? Can you help us with this? Now, a legal definition of conspiracy doesn't need to be 3. It can be 1. It can be 2. But there is a theory that a conspiracy happens more percentage-wise with 3 than with not. It doesn't have to be 3. But another thing about this, there's a certain vibration with this card, and it can be holy or it can be used in a different way, on a darker side. You see, this most likely is the entrance of some type of temple or church or gathering place. And in the old and ancients, once again, let's talk about Renaissance, let's talk about 14th, 15th, 16th, even 17th century architecture, a lot of cutouts were made in masonry and in wood because it would allow the breeze and the wind to go through, and when it does, it creates a particular frequency and a vibration to raise the level of whatever petition or prayer that you're asking for. You see how these things tie in together? This is a card of blessings, hearing petitions, hearing your prayers, healing. There are 7 cards here, and this main star, not card, pardon me, stars. This main star is all about a triumphant transformation when the time comes. But it's also about balance. You see how she's there pouring out? I mean, I don't know if I could do that. Hello? But look what we have here. We have balance here. We have balance here, up here at this card. And then we had balance and one of these others. And it's a 3 times balance. So there's got to be something more in this. And I'm going to tell you why in just a second. But now we have this foundation card. Another foundation, another timing card, and another water reference. This is a divine card. A benevolent hand coming out of the cosmic unknown, I like to say the heavens, offering a cup of peace, offering a spiritual bond. With this dove coming in, there's a divine inspiration over this card and the timing. But look at this bottom card. We've seen this before. And this one, the Hierophant, is a Taurus reference. I don't know who it is, but I just wanted to give that to you. But this is also a spiritual card. We have a lot of spiritual reference here. But this Death card, also the sign of a Scorpio, I'm just going to say that. But you see this flag that this is carrying? I'm not going to say it. Is carrying. This is a harvest card. A harvest. Planting seeds. Hoping that they grow. All right. So I'm going to share with what I feel is happening. And then we're going to look at the Cartomancy and we're going to build from there. All right, my darlings, here's the deal. I'm going to give you a what if because I'm not going to accuse anyone on this, okay? What if someone close by knew exactly what the FBI was talking about or heard what they were talking about to possibly family? What if they heard the sheriff was talking or something? Because obviously the family and law enforcement are in communication. What if the perpetrators themselves are giving tips over these tip lines? Because you can be anonymous when you call a tip line. And they have so many, it would take a task force just to trace those. And that has happened before, to throw the law enforcement off, because the first gentleman that they detained down by the Mexican border, close to it, south of Tucson, where they broke into his house, burst the door, took him out of his little car with his DoorDash and all this other, that was a tip. Evidently last night, and all of this Airbnb debacle was a tip, because someone looked like someone else. Well, people say I look like Valerie Bertinelli, but Bertinelli, yes, I believe Bertinelli, but that doesn't mean I'm taking it one day at a time, right? It means nothing except that they're jumping. And why does law enforcement jump? Because they don't have anything. Why is this happening? Because they don't have anything. Why are they not giving out any type of conferences, statements of value, except that, oh yes, we believe that Nancy is alive. Unfortunately, nobody was detained. We don't know where she is, and we don't know what we're doing. No, they didn't say that last part, but that's really what it feels like. Let's ask. Because this now is getting to the point where we have the best of the best for kidnappings and abductions in the room. The FBI is the best of the best as far as negotiations worldwide. They can find one thing, but hello, there are things that I have questions about, things that we don't understand, and that is, why is this particular woman targeted? Because, oh yeah, she lives in a big house and she may have this and this and this, but usually there has to be some type of liquid cash involved. And unfortunately, I don't see any, except for Savannah. Savannah makes about $8 million a year for the Today Show. I'm sure she's got a little bit put back. She's worth about $40 million, but it's very hard to liquidate. And I mean, I know banks before, and I will name one. Wells Fargo, if you know, you know, was involved, now allegedly, okay, that had accounts for a certain person that had been a family member abducted. And they were quite wealthy. And Wells Fargo would not release the money because it was a large amount of money and they wanted to know what it was used for. Now, come on. They had law enforcement there at the bank, they had all this, but oh no, Wells Fargo had to do the fiduciary responsibility and the right thing to the client. Do you see the level? It's not like you can just go down to the local ATM and tickety-boom, put in your ATM card and skippity-doo-dah, right on out of here and give somebody some money. It takes planning and it takes time, and especially to liquidate. So why do you ask a 84-year-old woman who has medical problems, who can't walk more than 50 paces, and I'm not saying this to cut her down, please don't think so. I'm making a point here to make, and I would ask, if law enforcement was sitting in front of me right now, I would say, you've got to tell me why, because I need to know where this is going, because this is pointing in a different direction than maybe what you have your mind in. What is the reason that you feel? What is your expertise, FBI, in believing the why that she was taken? There's something bigger and sinister behind this. Why? Because there's a new beginning. And they want to wipe the slate clean. And I'm going to say all this. And yes, she is all a part of the mystery. And yes, this is all a part of the dream. Do I believe somebody had an idea? Maybe not a plan, but an idea to do this before? Yes. Do I believe somebody hosted somebody to go in to retrieve Miss Nancy, fumbling the way they were? How many of you, I just want you to put a 1 in the comment. And you don't have to say anything more. I'm going to put my 1 right here. How many of you thought for a fleeting moment, gee, if I were that guy on the ring, I sure as heck would have treated that. I would have gone in there a completely different way. There's all kinds of windows, there's all kinds of doors, there's all kinds of, and yet you go up to the front door like you're selling Girl Scout cookies. How many of you thought about that? So whomever hired or convinced somebody to do that obviously wants to pinch them, because most likely those people who have done this are not around. And it's because of the tips. And when the people are looking, when the perps are looking, what do you think they're doing? They're probably saying, yeah, that's because Bill called in and said, yeah, that poor Airbnb, who's Bill? Just made him up. But I know I'm ranting right now. I apologize. Because it's like, okay, whatever has happened to Miss Nancy, just tell somebody. What's the, see, because there has to be, anytime, my darlings, that there is a situation like this where you have a big criminal situation, and this is, because it has crossed federal lines, there's all kinds of federal laws, and there's state laws, and there's this and that and the other thing. People, it's costing people money, time, sleep, eat. It's costing the family. I'm sure they're devastated. There's grandchildren that are probably watching this and just holding their breath. My friends, there has to be a benefit. Anytime a criminal enterprise, and this has been planned, there must be a benefit behind it. Who benefits the most? My question, on top of all this, is why do they keep going back to Nancy's house and back to Annie's and Tommaso? Tommaso. I keep saying that, sorry. They keep going back there. And this morning I saw helicopters flying over this Airbnb airspace. Come on. Now, do I believe that Nancy is still in this nucleus? Yes. Yes. Because she's too recognizable to try to take her anywhere, across state lines, across anywhere. They don't know. So she's too recognizable. But you know, at night, everything happens at night. Why? Because it's pitch black. It is pitch bloody black at night. A lot can be done without being seen. So we have some very interesting things here. 2 men and a woman, but these men now have graduated from being the jacks to the kings. What's that song? From a jack to a king. All right, remember that one? Why? Because this is a wake-up call. This has matured them. Fear has paralyzed these people. Now, they may have already be long gone, but it has paralyzed them. This woman here still has a relationship. Now, when I heard, it could be a mom and a son, okay, that's related. That can be counted as a relationship on a mother-son side. but I don't think so. This has to be someone that knows what's going on and who has watched from the outside in. The captors now are hiding. They've digging. Yeah. Hello, you can see I'm a little. Okay. They have dug deeper in. They're hiding that much more. And they've got secrets because now, if Miss Nancy has expired, I'm going to say that in that way, the charges just went up. The stakes are higher. And if she's had any type of other medical, a stroke, anything like that, she left her meds and everything behind, but it doesn't mean that they didn't plan and they had any of these in advance. An 84-year-old woman, it's not like she's sitting around playing pinochle with her captors. She understands and she sees what's been going on. So there's a difficulty in getting their point across now. And now I'm going to submit to you, my dear darling friends. These three have started to infight. They're infighting now because the one who has been hired, the one that has been hired by the couple, the masterminds, to do some dirty work, is getting scared. And he's done a lot of it. I mean, of course, these people will still have an issue, but he's got the biggest payload. He's going to be the biggest recipient of any type of legal. They all will be. But that's where his mind is going. Because, see, here's the partnership. I'm going to use this to point him out. Here's the partnership, my darlings. And this card right here makes it difficult to get their point across. Why? Because when I read Cartomancy, it's this way, this way, this way, this way, all around. You put it together, it tells the story. Why? Because this fellow right here now has a lack of trust for these two jokers. They're not really jokers, but they are in real life, I think, in my opinion. This guy has come to the realization, and he's grown up enough to know that this is no longer fun and games, and his payout does not exceed what he's facing. So now there's a lack of trust for these two. Now he is the one who is sacrificing the most in his mind. Let's see what he's thinking in his mind. And that's where this is going, my friends. What's going on with the captors? What's happening with them? Because we started out up here with the money. This is a fulfillment card, a financial fulfillment and domination, and making new arrangements to do different things. But I don't see how much more something new that they can actually do, because they're being watched, unless they go through maybe a RFD like they did last night and cause a distraction. Do you see what happened? Last night was such a total disaster because it was a distraction. And all eyes were there at that Airbnb, and they could have just been going out around here, taking the scenic route. This is a card down here of indecision. Now this fellow does not know what to do. Will he start to sing? Will he turn in these two? Do they have too much power to just point the finger at him? That's what he's concerned about. And this is what starts happening when it goes on a long time. Because, see, there's not been any payout. There's not been an exchange of money. And there's not been a proof of life. Why? Because I don't think there is one, in my opinion. This is a card not only of indecision, but almost feeling like they're on a holiday. So they're not anywhere around their normal home. This one, around his normal home or around his environment is different. So you see how it's starting to go on now, because here's the deal. He's not only made an investment of time, but of money, and it's starting to cost him. Mentally, it's really, really starting to cost him. He's so frustrated, he's having difficulty getting his point across because of this partnership here. Now, this card here is a card of doubt. He's starting to doubt, and these two are saying, oh, you need to hold on, because this card is the card of wait and see. This is a summer timing card, but it is also a card of wages, money, salary, grounding. So these two have promised this one over here, you're going to make bank, pal. All you need to do is go in, take her, boom, you're out of here. But now it's come full circle. You see how this goes? It's coming full circle because now there's a lack of trust. And what else did we learn about this card? It's a card of being swindled. So now this guy feels that these two have swindled him. Swindled? What is that word, Zelda? Well, it's a word of being taken by a criminal. Hello. Birds of a feather flock together. So do pigs and swine. Rats and mice have made their choice, and oh, have I made mine. That's how it goes. So you see, this lack of trust card, this swindled. And for those of you who've never watched before, this is a card from the, I keep talking ancient because that is the foundation of where these cards have gone. And if you're going to read successfully and do the forensic that I do, it is an everyday learning process. I learn something every day. The cards teach me every day. It's ongoing. It's like reading tomorrow's newspaper. It's an ongoing learning. And am I surprised? Yes, every day I'm in awe. But now this card, when you look down on it, there are the 4 clovers, or the 4 clubs. Back in the day, many would sleep in the canopy beds. This 4 is not a good card in the clubs because it means getting in bed with the devil, doing the devil's bidding. What does that mean? Well, you're just performed some evil, pal. And why? Because these two over here. Let's keep going. So now we've got this man whose imagination is going wild on top of reality, on top of this partnership that he's had with these two. Now these two feel that it's a success so far. Why? Well, because they haven't been caught, number 1. And number 2, these two, if they are caught, have a plan against this one. He's going to be the fall guy, and he doesn't know that, but he considers it now. You see how it's planning? Because this card tells it all. Why? Because it's in the middle row. Whatever row is left of that, I've messed it up. But this is in the middle row. This is a card of separation, of divorce, of not between these two. They're going to divorce him. And this is a card of no, ending this relationship, ending this agreement. They're going to end it. And they may sing and turn him in. That's where we're coming at. Is that a bad thing? Not really. However, where's Nancy? Where's Nancy? That's the question. Sorry, it is a long video today. Sorry. Now we're going to ask this, my friends. Now we're going to ask this. I want to show you something here for those of you who are learning Cartomancy. And yes, I have a Cartomancy ebook. You can learn to read like I do. It's in the psychic shop. I have a tarot book too. I call this my teaching deck. You can see it's very well worn. This is from, I love it. It's a set of 3. It's from the Elephant playing card company, not Bicycle. It's all about medieval because I kind of dig that stuff because it's the origin and the history of the cards. My friends, write on your decks. That's a good way for you to learn. You see, there's nothing wrong with writing on your decks. So when I was teaching classes, it was all about that. So anyway, a little tidbit for you for today. Now, give me a second, my darlings. Here we are. Piotnik deck. 36 languages. I'm sorry. 36 cards written in 6 different languages. Not 36 languages, my goodness. All right, here we are. So you see there's a judge and a house and sadness and some money. They may have to pay out some money just to nab them. I don't think that's going to work. That's not the FBI style. You see how the money keeps coming up? But I do believe that the kidnappers are on the move. And believe me, they are angry. Because why? They are thieves. Now this is an officer. Now, do I believe that any official law enforcement officer or anybody is involved? No, I don't. But I do believe someone out of the blue will get smart and put the pieces of the puzzle together and start picking up people. And then we will have unexpected joy of them being caught. There is definitely a desire to get this done and this loyalty, but the falseness, and there's jealousy, and then there's this. And when this card comes out, I stop because there's not much more you can do to put on top of that. Next time we look, after today, I'm going to ask where Nancy is. I really did hope that this was going to be reading for the captors, and it did turn out that way because it was all about the money today. But just know, I believe that some of these tips that they're getting are also given by the captors or somebody close to them to throw the law enforcement off. Last night was a distraction. I'm just going to tell you that right out from it. In my opinion, I don't have those facts, but in my opinion, based on the cards, it was a distraction. And law enforcement is being played to a certain degree, but they have to check out every tip. They're like a fish flopping on a pier right now. A fish out of water, because they've got to check out all leads, and yet. So I'm so glad, my darlings, that you are here with me, seeing crime. I'll see you next time.